Good morning again, UNISA students. We're going to carry on with our lessons or topics that will assist you in your studies, when you're preparing for your exams, those who are doing the year modules, preparing yourself when you're busy with your assignments. So today I want to take you through how to study effectively, because when you study, you need to have the pointers or the aspects that will help you to study effectively. The lesson reads effective study process, because studying is a process, it's not an event. So for you to study effectively, you need to have what we call effective time management and planning. You need to manage your time. You need to plan when you are studying. So in your time management and your planning, you need to take care of the issue of having a designated study area. Have or create a spot that is quiet, that is well lit, there is enough light coming in so that you can be able to see clearly. And it should be a spot in a low traffic area, because sometimes if you choose a spot where you will hear the traffic, cars driving up and down, or the train or whatever, so it is very distractive. So choose a spot that is quiet, that has got low traffic. Another thing is that you must clear all the distractions, anything and everything that can distract you while you're studying. Something like a cell phone, switch off your cell phone so that you shouldn't be tempted to go to social media, or as well as, staying away from noisy friends. If maybe you are in a venue where you're studying with your friends, make sure that you sit very far away from them so that they shouldn't distract you, they shouldn't disturb you. So whilst you're studying, you must take short breaks. Don't sit there for 2 hours, an hour without standing up and taking a health break. So it depends on your listening span, that some will take a break after 30 minutes, some after an hour. But what is important is that take some short breaks while you're studying. Then whilst you're studying, it is advisable for you to take or make notes. Don't study like you are just reading a novel or a newspaper. You need to make notes where you identify the main ideas, the key words, the difficult concepts, so that you can go and check what does this word mean. And another point that is very, very important, or that will be beneficial for you in your studies, is to form group work. Have a discussion with your peers, with your fellow students that you are studying maybe in the same module. Have discussions so that you can have can share ideas, you can help each other maybe this one understand this concept better, and then you understand the other one better. So research has proven that you know, students learn better from their peers. So you need to have those group discussions. So we came up with the study process, the effective study process. So there is a principle that one of the scholars, Dr. Art van Schoor, and the colleagues came up with what they call the EFT principle. The EFT study process is based on 60-30-10 principles. So I'm going to unpack this to say this principle states that successful activity depends on solid preparation. So I'm going to unpack what this EFT acronym stands for. E stands for exploration, F stands for fixation, and then T stands for testing. Because when you study, remember, you need to allocate your time. Remember, we spoke about time management. So 60% of your time is when you will be doing research, that is reading articles, recommended books, prescribed books. So you read a lot. 60% is a lot of time. So you will spend it doing your research, reading, so that you can gain knowledge about the topic that you're going to write about. So during this exploration phase, you will be working through the curriculum of your modules. If maybe you're having 6 modules, so it means then you need to go through the curriculum of all those modules. What is it entailed? What is it that is expected from you in each and every learning unit? You need to understand what the curriculum of each module is all about. So you must do the additional reading, like I said, your research from different sources, articles, recommended books, prescribed books. So you gather a lot of knowledge with regard to, you know, the topic that you'll be dealing with, and discuss and consult experts in the field, like your lecturers, your tutors, your peers, so that you can have a clear understanding of what the topic is all about. If you don't understand, send an email to your lecturer or to your tutor, e-tutor, so that they can assist you with clarifying what you don't understand. Make summaries for intensive study later. So like I said, that when you are studying, make notes, make summaries, identify possible questions and difficult concepts. Because when you're reading, when you're studying or reading, you're busy asking yourself to say, maybe from this, what I'm reading, this can be a possible question. So phrase those questions yourself so that you can test your knowledge. Then after that, after you've done all the reading, the 60%, the research, then it's then that you start completing your assignment. You don't just get an assignment and then just start writing. You need to gather a lot of information. You must gain knowledge in the topic. And you must be able to say, from what I have studied, this could be the possible question. And, you know, try to simplify whatever that you find difficult. It's then that you will start drafting your assignment. You don't even just write. You start having your first draft, your second draft, and then up until you are happy, then you start compiling your assignment. So the second phase, which is now the F, is the fixation phase. So the fixation phase now, remember you have spent 60%. Now here you're going to spend 30% of your time, where you do now the sifting. You know, I call it the sifting. That you sift the most important facts. You bring logic together to say, from what I have read, this will be my summary. I will sift the main facts, the main ideas from those that are just general. So then you come to a consolidation process where you make meaning. You identify main ideas, key concepts and words. You summarize them. You formulate questions. You know, what is the theme I just read? You're asking yourself, you're testing your knowledge. What words and concepts I do not understand? And what are the possible interrelationships? Then you come to the memorization phase, where you fix the structure of the study in your memory. Remember, memorization is not a bad thing, because it's not like parrot learning, but it's memorization with understanding. That's why you are able to say, you know, you draw a picture in your mind to say, okay, this is how I will make meaning out of what I have studied. And then now you use your own words, you know, to say, oh, okay, this is how I'm going to remember this process. You can, some use, you know, alphabets, you know, to coin, how do I memorize? How do I remember? Because remember, memorization, you memorize to remember, something that will help you to remember what you have studied. So that is now the fixation. You are trying to paraphrase, you're going to trying to summarize, you are trying to, you know, sift wheat from chaff, or chaff from wheat. So you are able now to take the gist of the matter. That is now your fixation phase. Then the last phase, which only counts 10% of your time, that is now the testing phase. This is the last lap where you test your knowledge. When you're writing your assignments, when you're writing your exams, it's only 10% of your time, because remember, you have spent 60% on the topic, researching, reading a lot of relevant articles, you know, what other scholars are saying. Then the second phase, which is fixation, now you are summarizing, which you use 10% of, 30% of your time, you are summarizing. So 10% now. Now you are starting to jot the key points down. You know, that is now your exams, when you're sitting for your exams, when you're sitting for your assignments, when you're testing your knowledge. So you practice even asking questions, and then you're using previous exam papers, you know, to say, okay, this is how they phrase the questions, and then you are able to even formulate your own questions to say, okay, maybe this question they might phrase it like this. Am I able to answer that question? Then you understand each action verb. You know, we've got lots of action verbs because when a question is formulated, they use these action verbs. For instance, you know, to test what is, so that they can test you what is expected of you. E.g., when they say compare, what is it that is expected of you when you compare? You know, when you distinguish, you know, distinguish between this and this. You know, discuss, explain, expatiate. So all those action verbs, you need to have a clear understanding so that you will be able to answer, to give the adequate answers, the appropriate answers, so that you must not get confused what it's meant to define or to describe or to discuss, explain. So all those actions verbs, we find them in the revised Bloom taxonomy. In the revised text, Bloom taxonomy. So all this will help you when you are preparing for your exams, when you are preparing for your assignments. I hope this topic or this you know, lesson will help you to fare well in your exams and in your assignment writing. I thank you.